Hello and welcome to Travel Alchemist. Our adventure continues on the island of Sumatra in Indonesia. We flew from Malaysia's Kuala Lumpur into Medan, and after a few relaxing days settling in Medan, we headed into the highlands of Gunung Leuser National Park, famous for its thriving population of Sumatran orangutans. Sumatra is not famous for its public transport, so a lot of the time you'll be getting around on tourist shuttles. The tourist shuttles from Medan to Bukit Lawang, the gateway to Gunung Leuser, were about 250 to 700,000 each from what we could see. So since we were in Medan, we simply requested a grab taxi to take us in a private car, which cost us just over 300,000 rupiah. We were met in the centre of Bukit Lawang by the owner of Junior Lodge, where we had booked for 3 nights. We instantly fell in love with the town. Our room was also amazing value for money. For just £20 a night, it was on the quiet side of town and had a full panoramic windows with great views of the jungle. That afternoon we strolled around the town, fascinated by all the handmade wooden bridges which crisscross over the crystal clear turquoise Bohorok River, some of which had a maximum capacity of only 4 people. Children played in the water, and the sound of laughter and gentle rapids surround you here. You can't help but love the town's simple charm. We must have walked over every bridge 3 times. We were obsessed. And as the night closed in, the mist started to embrace us from the surrounding jungles. Macaques started settling into the trees around us for the night, and we got an early night ready for the next day. It was my birthday, and we had booked to do a 1-day tour into the national park. We booked through our guest house, and since all prices into the park are controlled by the government, we ended up on a private tour for the same price as a group tour. The walk into the park is up some steep steps, but we couldn't believe how close the town was to the park entrance. The jungle was amazing. We saw so many different species, long-tailed macaques of course, but also pig-tailed macaques, and huge forest ants which were fascinating for Dave. We saw Thomas langurs, which are also another endemic species to Sumatra, so cute with their little white glasses. However, we didn't see any orangutans so far, apart from one that was pretty high up sleeping in a nest. We stopped for lunch in a small clearing, but after lunch we were graced by the presence of a young female Sumatran orangutan. She stayed feeding near us for almost an hour and seemed very curious, coming quite close at times. Bukit Lawang used to be an orangutan research centre, where captive apes were rehabilitated back into the wild. The project was a huge success, and now the population is thriving and the rehabilitation centre has since closed. Most apes here are now considered fully wild. But she eventually lost interest in us, and who can blame her? The jungle is far more interesting, and she moved off between the trees. What an amazing encounter. On our way back to the town, incredibly pleased with the day so far, we then saw a pair of rhinoceros hornbills. If you watched our other videos, you'll know that I love hornbills and was so hopeful that I'd see one today, as I'd read that there was a good population in the park. I guess it was my birthday luck. We headed back down towards the river, but it wasn't the end of the day just yet, and instead of walking back into town, we were going to tube back. After a long and exhausting walk in the hot and humid jungle, getting into our swimwear and cooling off in the river was amazing, and the tubing in the rapids back to town was the perfect way to end such an incredible day. We loved Bukit Lawang, and in some ways we both wish we'd spent more time here, even if it was just to enjoy the clean river and its many wooden bridges. But our next stop was Berastagi and then Lake Toba to enjoy some of the island's volcanoes. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out my blog, travelalchemist.blog. Bye!